So, hello and welcome to Let's Talk About It in Kitely or in the Skybox again. Now, I wanted to get us into some kind of bed shop or something, but it's very difficult to get inside buildings on Google Maps. So, I'm afraid we're stuck with the Science Museum for now. Maybe in the future shops will allow us to enter their premises and grab a screenshot from there. But for the moment, never mind. Shiny, you've just put normal boring days means happiness. Not if they're boring, but I think normal days. Normal doesn't have to be boring. Just normal, nice normal days. Um, Boring days are horrible. Sorry, I disagree with that. But just normal, everyday days can bring great happiness. Absolutely. Okay. I'm just going to check that the stream is running because I think I told you there was a bit of a mess up, a bit of a mix up on the stream this week because I stupidly let somebody borrow my computer. Don't let people borrow your computer when it is set up for particular things. Just don't do it. Um, oh, it's not looking good because I'm clicking on the live stream and it's not working. But it might be because I'm using up. Oh, here it goes. Okay. So, as long as I can see myself, yep. And let's see if I can hear myself. This will be a bit weird, but as I can see myself. Yeah, I can hear myself too. Tough guy, could you just say hello? But as I can see myself. Yeah,
Hello,
I can hear myself too. Tough guy, could you just say hello? That
can you
sounded
hear me?
good. As I can see myself. Yeah,
Hello.
I can hear myself. Yeah, everything's working. Good. Phew. So, fingers crossed it will stream correctly and I can close that down now. So, last week, can you remember what we talked about? There was a little clue in what I said earlier about I was trying to get us inside a bed store, a bed shop, or a mattress shop would have done. You can't remember. Okay. Shiny, any luck? There was a clue. And Shiny, you did send me some information this week about it as well, which thank you very much for that. Oh, I'm not sure if Shiny can hear me. Can you hear me, Shiny? No? Yes? No? Okay, well, I'll tell you then. It was about sleep. And we've been looking a lot at the brain, and we looked at how alcohol affects the brain and how different things affect the brain, including learning. And last week we talked a lot about sleep. You remember now? Good. Yeah, remember. That's okay, Shiny. If you could just type AFK if you're going. Um, yeah, just type AFK if you're going to be away from your keyboard for a bit. Then I won't ask you a question. I'll know you're not there. Well, as long as I notice that you've typed AFK. Or BRB for be right back. You know what both those mean, yeah? AFK away from keyboard, BRB be right back. Okay? Okay, so this week we're going to look a little bit more at sleep. Okay? And I'm going to just upload an image I found, which is a free image, which is always nice to find. And it is one I can share with you. So I'll just literally do that and share it with you. I wasn't sure whether to put it in human anatomy or in health. It's a little bit of both, I guess. But in the end, the most important thing is I can find it. So where I put it doesn't really matter to you. So let me just make sure it's going to upload. Yeah, looks like it's uploading okay. Okay, and it's called sleep deprivation. Okay, I'll just share it with you. Now, do you know what deprivation means? Any idea? What does deprivation mean? To be...
Deprive.
Yes, the verb is to deprive or to be deprived. Slight difference. One applies, you're doing the action, you're depriving someone of something, and the other one, to be deprived, of course, means that somebody is depriving you of something. Okay, and the image is called The Effects of Sleep Deprivation, and it has a lot of very negative effects on your health. Okay, so I'll try to create a board. So have you got the image? Yep. Okay, good. Have a look at the image. I'm just going to put it on to an actual board as well. So bear with me a second. I just need to find a blank presenter. Okay. Okay, I'll just pop it here and I'll repurpose one. Okay, so bear with me. Ignore what it actually says at the moment. I'll have to edit it. Oof. Bear with me. Okay, I'll just add the image to there, and then hopefully that will now show up. I think I'm suffering from sleep deprivation today, by the way. It was a noisy Halloween last night. Okay. Not ideal. So I'll put it against a nice light background. Okay, I've realised what I've done here. If you notice, it's actually on a clear background, so I will put it up. I'll tell you what, I'll put it up on the wall over there so that it looks, so that it's easier to see. And then make it larger. Okay. Okay, so if you just move your mouse so that you can see a light background behind it, you'll be able to see it even more easily. Okay, so the effects of sleep deprivation, to be deprived of sleep. And it has lots of different effects on you and on your body and on your brain. Okay? There are psychological effects and physiological effects. I know you don't like this word beginning. Physiological versus psychological. So what do you think the difference is between physiological and psychological? Any ideas?
Body and mind.
That's it. Psychological to do with the mind, psychology. Physiological to do with the body. Physiology is the study of the body. Okay, so any questions about the text on the picture? We've got irritability. Do you get a tough guy? Do you get irritable if you're tired?
Yes, of course, I do.
Yeah, me too. I am an absolute grump if I'm tired. I need my sleep. I need my 8 hours sleep. Then
Okay, but
cognitive.
actually,
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
sometimes no, actually, I was just saying that I do not need a reason to get irritated. My mom says this, that I'm always like this, irritated.
Are you a grump?
You can, yes, of course, you can say that if it means a person who doesn't feel very happy, that person is always irritated, right? So yeah, you can say that.
Okay. Now you wouldn't say that person's always irritated. Everything irritates that person. Okay. That person is
Okay,
irritable. Okay.
okay,
Irritated is like a state. I'm irritated
okay,
by. Um, I'm irritated by certain things. So annoyed, irritated. Things annoy me.
okay.
Um, but I'm irritable means that's your normal state.
Okay, so that person is always irritated, right?
That's
Irritable
right. Yeah,
person.
easily annoyed. If you're irritable, you're
Okay,
easily annoyed. I'm so
okay.
surprised, tough guy. I always thought you were very laid back, easygoing.
No, actually, I was just kidding. But yes, when I was working night shifts, I was, my nature changed and I was always irritated. And you can say at that time, I became an irritable person.
Okay. I know, I became irritable. An irritable person is somebody who irritates other people.
Others, yes, you can say that as well because everybody was getting irritated at that time because of my
Okay,
nature.
everybody was getting irritated at you being irritable. Oh my goodness, that's a complex
Yes.
sentence to get my head round. I'm not normally irritable, honestly. I'm quite laid back, as you know. But if I get tired, then I'm irritable, I'm grumpy. I'm best off just left alone like a sleepy old bear. Shiny, what about you? Are you easily irritated? Would you consider yourself irritable?
Yes, recently. Because when people, um, I'm not sure if I have, I can, I actually I don't want to talk about it because it's really annoying.
Okay, no worries, no worries.
Okay,
Maybe
Lynn.
lack of sleep. Tough guy, take the mic.
Okay, yes, actually, I have a question. You just told about this irritable, right? This word. If you say that a person is irritable, so that means it's the nature of that person, right? That person is always irritated. But if you say that I am or he is an irritable person, so that means that person irritates others, right?
Yes, it can do, yes. You would normally say he's so irritating, yeah? So if you want, okay, he is an irritable person. That indicates that the person is bad tempered, okay? Okay. He is irritating. He annoys you. I shouldn't really say he or she. He or she annoys you. We have a saying to get out of bed on the wrong side as well. To get out of bed on the wrong side. Do you know what that means? If you, what does it mean if you get out of bed on the wrong side? ideas? No, it doesn't mean to fall. No, it's not really got anything to do with getting out of bed. It's what we say if somebody's being um, petulant, if somebody's being irritable, if somebody's showing that they're in a bad mood, then we say, "Oh, did you get out of bed on the wrong side?" In other words, they started the day wrong and it's continuing and they're now in a bad mood. Did you get out of bed on the wrong side? So it's nothing to do with physically getting out of bed, it's purely to do with being in a bad mood, and the idea is that you started the day wrong. Okay? So if you are irritable, you're easily annoyed. And then if you're irritating, then you are annoying other people. And just to say irritably, I know you don't like adverbs, but if you say something irritably, it would be like, "What do you mean?" No, I don't want another cup of tea, she said, irritably. You just type here, got to let it out. Okay, fair enough. Is this text chat as therapy? I think Nina's trying to join us. Let me just check. Hang on. Oh, nearby. Yeah, Nina's here. So let's see if we can. Oh, no, I can't send her a TP. Nina, can you hear us? Are you nearby? Where is she? For some reason, you're not. I can't send you a teleport, Nina. Okay, I'll send you the link. Okay? So, we are here. Okay. So, to be irritable, to show irritability, to be irritating is slightly different. That means you're the one who's irritating an irritable person. Okay. Cognitive impairment. So another little word here, to impair. Okay. Impairment. Any idea what that would mean?
Does that mean you can't think deeply?
Yep, the whole thing, cognitive impairment, means your ability to think, to reason, is impaired. Okay? Not working the way it should. Yes, exactly. Everything can be impaired. You can have impaired hearing. Doesn't mean you're deaf. For example, if you have tinnitus, that can impair your ability to hear clearly. You can be impaired physically. If you have something that means you can't do certain things that other people take for granted, that can mean you have a physical impairment. But cognitive, of course, is to do with thinking. So an inability to think. Then memory lapses or loss. Well, we talked about that last week with drink, how too much alcohol can affect your memory and you forget what you've done and how did I get here? Who is that person? That's a really scary thought. But so can sleep deprivation. Now, memory lapses. A lapse. What does it mean if you have a memory lapse? Yeah, a gap. That's a good way of describing it. Memory loss is you forget everything. Um, Amnesia is memory loss. A memory lapse is that little moment. Have you ever walked into a room and then thought, why did I come in here? Has that ever happened? Yeah, it's terrible. I call it a senior moment because I'm of that age. But it's just a little lapse. It's not terrible, is it? It's like, oh, and you just go out and don't worry about it. But a memory lapse is a brief lack of concentration, a brief lapse in memory. Okay? Impaired moral judgment. There's that word impair again. Impaired moral judgment. Ooh, what might that mean? How would that manifest itself?
Yeah, you be, you you judge you can't judge things well, so because it's becoming weakened.
Yeah,
No, it's becoming weaker.
that's right. I mean, by moral judgment, they literally mean, what's right, what's wrong. And you need to have your mental faculties to sometimes, decide, is it a good idea to do that? And somebody, especially if somebody's egging you on, oh, go on, do it, do it. You think, oh, it's not right, but you do it anyway because you're too tired to argue. Severe yawning. Do you know what that means? What does it mean if you yawn?
Just yawn. Severe means serious.
Yeah,
Serious.
long yawns. If you're tired, and just. I am very susceptible to yawning suggestions, by the way. I just catch them and that's it. If somebody yawns near me, I will yawn back. Now that can be caused by lack of oxygen. You're trying to get more oxygen in, but it's also caused by tiredness. Yawning, to yawn. Now, hallucinations. A hallucination. What does that mean if you have a hallucination? Remember yesterday we were talking about ghosts. It was Halloween, so we were talking about Halloween parties and people dressing up as ghosts and monsters. But some people think they've seen a real ghost. Now, did they see that real ghost, or were they only hallucinating? Were they imagining it? Yeah, that's it. You can see and hear things that aren't there, that aren't real. You hallucinate. Yep, like like a drug addict. Yeah, drugs can make you hallucinate. They short wire your brain so that what you think is real is no longer real, and what you thought was not real becomes real. And certain psychological conditions can also cause hallucinations. Schizophrenia can cause severe hallucinations, where you think the whole world is falling away and everything's crumbling around you, everything's falling around you. I mean, it's real to you, but nobody else sees it. And therefore that's what would cause maybe we're hallucinating, maybe what you're seeing is real, I don't know, but if you tell me you've seen a ghost, I tend to think you were probably hallucinating. Hello Nina, nice to see you. Long time no see.
Hello
Hi.
everyone.
Hi.
Hi. The link it doesn't work, but I'm walking and found you.
Well done.
Thank you so
Okay, I
much.
tried to teleport you. Did you use the telepad? Um, if you use those little black telepads and you want to come up here, just click on it and choose Skybox. Okay. But you found us. Well done. You did it. I like your birds.
Yeah.
I like your birds flying
Oh,
around
it's
you.
terrible.
That's
It's
great.
Halloween.
Yeah. Well, Halloween's over, but never mind.
Yeah, I don't have opportunity to change my costume.
Okay, that's fine. It looks cool anyway.
So sorry, guys.
No problem. No, it's cool. It's nice. Good costume. Good costume.
Thank you so much. Cheers.
Okay, so we were talking about hallucinations. When you arrived, you could have been a hallucination. We were just
I think
imagining
I
you.
am a hallucination.
So,
I can scare someone.
so to hallucinate, yeah, or to have a hallucination. Okay. And sleep, I can swear to you now, I can, hand on heart, this is a true story. When I was quite young, we went on a school trip to France and we were on a ferry. Being in the UK, of course, you know, you're stuck on this island. You have to fly or travel by sea to get anywhere onto mainland Europe. We took the ferry. Now, the ferry was delayed because of very bad weather, but the teachers were worried. This was coming back. The teachers were worried we would miss it or fall asleep and miss it, so they kept us awake. And when I mean they kept us awake, I mean it was about 20 hours with no sleep. Okay, and we were quite young. And suddenly I started to see my cat, who was miles away at home. But my cat was there with me, and I swear to you I could see it, I could have reached out and touched it. But I was hallucinating through sleep deprivation. And young people are very, very susceptible to sleep deprivation. I think as we get older, our brains are more set in their ways. But it's amazing because so many young people do not want to go to bed, and yet it's the one thing that's really important that they do is go to bed. The one thing they don't want to do that's really good for them is go to bed. But yes, that really taught me a lesson that being deprived of your sleep is not good for you. But it was kind of cool seeing my cat. Now they've got also here symptoms similar to ADHD. Does everybody know what that means? 1, symptoms, and 2, ADHD.
No.
Okay, so symptoms. Shiny, what are the symptoms of a cold?
Stuffed nose,
Then
cough,
Cough, yeah.
fever,
Fever, yeah.
muscle X, something like that.
I didn't catch that. What was the last one?
F. How do you say
Could you type
F?
it up? I'm not sure what you mean. I'll add sore throat and runny nose. Okay. So tough guy, they're all symptoms. Illnesses have symptoms.
uh, okay, Lynn.
Hmm.
Actually, you are mistaken. Actually, symptoms. I do know what
Ah,
symptoms.
okay, sorry. But you don't know what
Actually,
ADHD is.
I was. Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Muscle ache. Yeah, muscle ache is that's more a symptom of flu. Okay, ADHD is a disorder. Now there are illnesses and then there are disorders. It's a really strange way of splitting these things up. But a disorder is something's not working properly. It's an illness that affects your ability to cope in a way, either mentally or physically. It's not a disease. It's not a virus. You can't catch it. It's not a well, as far as they know, it's not a bacterial infection. And so they've given it this name, disorder. And ADHD is attention deficit. Oh my goodness, let's see if I can remember. Attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. Yeah, it's a hot topic. In fact, it's quietened down a little bit because of other news, of course, but a few years ago, every other news broadcast was going on about ADHD, especially in young children. The inability to concentrate, the inability to sit still and do one thing, and the inability to pay attention. Okay, so it's attention deficit, the inability to concentrate or pay attention; hyperactivity, the inability to be calm and still; and then this word disorder, which is used in all sorts of different things, like skin disorder. If you suffer from a skin disorder, that could be psoriasis, it could be acne, it could be, what's the itchy scratchy one that you can get, flaky skin. They're all skin disorders. So not an illness, not a disease, a disorder. Okay? I think sometimes we like to apply labels to things. We like to group things as well. So you apply a label to a child, ADHD, and then we can think, oh well, he's got ADHD, that explains it. And I think it's better than saying he's naughty. Don't be naughty is different to he is naughty, or she. Sorry, I'm saying he again. Um, yeah, I think we're trying to understand. I still think we're miles away from truly understanding. But one of the things that can cause ADHD is sugar, and another thing is food additives. So, we've helped a little bit. But the biggest problem is there are drugs for ADHD, and we do tend to hand them out to children who are just children. They're just being children. Children are hyperactive. Children do find it difficult to concentrate. It's only in extreme cases we should be handing out any drugs, and even then we should question that. But there you are. But yes, I think we are trying to understand everything more and more. Okay, then we've got impaired immune system. What does that mean? Got that word impaired again. Then we've got immune system.
You might
Immune
get
system.
sick easily.
Go on, Shiny. You were first.
Thank you. It just means that you get sick easily.
Yeah.
Or infection, something like that.
That's it, yeah. Tough guy. Did you want to add something?
No, I was just telling the meaning of that. Because nobody was saying anything, so I decided that I would.
Yeah, good.
Okay, so she has already told you, right?
She's already answered. I hope that didn't irritate you. You being so irritable.
No.
Good. Sorry, Nina, you missed the bit about irritability and being irritable. I learnt a lot about tough guy today. So yeah, but if your immune system is suppressed, then you're more likely to catch an illness, a cold, a disease, and your body is unable to fight it. We're exposed to so many germs, to so many bacteria, to so many potential viruses and diseases, but usually we don't know because our body is amazing. It fights these diseases, but if your immune system is suppressed, if it is unable to work properly for whatever reason, then those diseases win. Then you come down with the cold, the flu, the illness, etc. And of course, one of the main words where we hear this immune word is in AIDS. Okay, so AIDS is basically where your immunity has broken down and you have no resistance to infection. Okay, and it stands for autoimmune deficiency. Yeah. Now, AIDS is a syndrome, another word we use often in illnesses. Yeah, acquired immunodeficiency syndrome. So we've got a word here, disorder, but we also have this word syndrome. And that's a group of, if you have a syndrome, it's really difficult to tell what's wrong with you because it means you have a lot of symptoms, a group of symptoms. And that's a syndrome. Okay, then we have even stranger risk factors to our health, our physical health. Risk of diabetes type 2. And what do we normally associate diabetes with? What's the normal cause of diabetes, usually called diabetes type 1 now?
Fat.
Sorry, Shiny?
If you are fat.
Being obese, yes, but there's one particular trigger for diabetes, one particular danger in diabetes.
I think the body can control the level of sugar
That's
in the blood.
Glucose. And seemingly sleep can affect your ability for your body to control the glucose and the sugar levels in your body. So lack of sleep can negatively affect your blood sugar levels and your blood glucose control. That wouldn't lead to type 1 diabetes, which is the insulin type diabetes, but it can bring out the symptoms and the dangers associated with diabetes type 2. Okay, so we'll go to the heart now on the other side of the image. By the way, Nina, I did forget to say to you, there's an image up above that car in front of me. I hope you can see it. I can share it with you. I forgot you weren't here for that part. Let me see. Can I find it? There it is. Share with Nina. Okay, there it is. So it can cause increased heart rate or heart variability. Heart rate variability. Your heart could race. And it can cause a risk of heart disease. Now, heart disease is the major killer of our time. And sleep affects your heart. And what we talk about with the heart is, and we're talking about the health of the heart, we talk about cardiovascular disease. Cardio is often related to the heart. Vascular, the organ itself, all the tubes and the parts of the heart, which we'll look at in another session. The heart's got lots of vocabulary. It's a bit like the brain, lots of different parts of vocabulary to do with the heart. Cardiovascular, that's to do with heart. A healthy heart is a happy heart. And sleep problems and heart disease often go hand in hand. But which came first? The heart problem, which disturbs your sleep, or the sleep problem, which disturbs your heart? Not sure. But in the Harvard review, it says this: poor sleep can interfere with the heart, and heart disease can disturb sleep. So sleep deprivation can also affect your ability to react. If you're a gamer, worst thing you can do is stay awake all night. I know somebody who recently stayed awake far too long in order to game, 3 nights, but to counteract the lack of sleep, he was drinking coffee, Coca-Cola, taking stimulants. Nobody I know personally, I'd like to add, but I did tell him to go to bed. Get offline and go to bed. Tremors and aches, it affects your muscles as well. With young people, it can suppress your growth. With everybody, it can affect your metabolism, which means you can put on weight. And it can even lower your temperature. These all affect our health, absolutely. People do all sorts of things to stay awake. And there is medical research into how can we stay awake. We waste so much time sleeping. You know, there must be a way that we can have 24 hours a day. But really don't. Just, if you're feeling tired, go to bed. Even having a nap, power naps during the day, they're fantastic. If you have problems sleeping, I can understand that. I've suffered from sleeplessness too. But what I do then is I take every opportunity to have a nap, even if I don't go into the deep sleep. Okay, so let's do some reading. I've talked enough. Okay, so Shiny, if you could be our first reader. Let me just do the cut and pasting a bit. Okay, so Shiny, whenever you're ready.
Sleep deprivation is the condition of not having enough sleep. It can be either chronic or acute. A chronic sleep restricted state can cause fatigue, daytime sleepiness, clumsiness, and weight loss and or weight gain. It adversely affects the brain and cognitive function. However, in a subset of cases, sleep deprivation can paradoxically lead to increased energy and alertness and enhanced mood. It has even been used as a treatment for depression. Few studies have compared the effects of acute total sleep deprivation and chronic partial sleep restriction. Complete absence of sleep over long periods has not been seen in humans, unless they suffer from fatal familial insomnia. It appears that brief microsleeps cannot be avoided. Long-term total sleep deprivation has caused death in lab animals.
Very good. Well done. Yeah, I don't want to think too much about that last bit. Oh, hang on. I think I've lost my voice. Can you hear me? What's going on? Okay, hang on. Okay. I think it's back. Can you hear me now? Nicely read. Well done. So, just that first word, shiny, you're missing the V. You're just dropping it. It's not deprivation. It's deprivation. Like vacation. Deprivation. Try it.
Privation.
That's it. Yeah. Sleep deprivation. And then acute, not acute. Acute would be to describe. Let's see, have we got something cute? Let's have a look. Here's a cute. Here's something cute. Oh, where's he gone? Oh, there he is. What's he doing out there? Okay, a cute black puppy. Oh, look at the cute puppy. He's a cute puppy. But acute means severe. So you have to say it as one word, acute. Try it.
Acute.
Much better. Good. And then the last one is fatal. I know we say fat, but fate, fatality, fatal.
Fatal.
That's it, yeah. When something's going to kill you, it could be fatal. It is fatal. Okay. Very good. Tough guy. If you would like to read the next bit. Any questions first? Sorry. Any questions?
No.
Okay, good. Do you understand the chronic bit? If something is chronic, again, a word that's often used in health terms. Chronic.
Yes, of course.
Yeah, it means it
If you have been
lasts.
suffering from a disease for a long time.
That's it. Yeah, it's a long-term illness. I have, sadly, chronic back pain. In fact, I'll put chronic acute back pain. I help myself by exercise, but it's always there. It's the bane of my life. Yeah, severe, but also long-lasting, shiny. Chronic is something that's going to last for a long time. Acute is more severe. Okay? Okay, tough guy, if you'd like to read about diabetes, please.
Okay. It has been suggested that people experiencing short-term sleep restrictions process glucose more slowly than individuals receiving a full 8 hours of sleep, increasing the likelihood of developing type 2 diabetes. In 2005, a study of over 1,400 participants showed that participants who habitually slept few hours were more likely to have associations with type 2 diabetes. However, because this study was merely correlational, the direction of cause and effect between little sleep and diabetes is uncertain. The authors point to an earlier study which showed that experimental rather than habitual restriction of sleep resulted in impaired glucose tolerance (IGT). Sleep deprivation can cause insulin resistance in body, triggering the onset of early diabetes.
Very good. Well done. Diabetes.
Diabetes.
Yeah, diabetes. That E in the not diabetes. Diabetic, we say. So you've got diabetes,
Hmm.
but you are diabetic. Okay,
Yeah,
another of those
diabetic, but
horrible.
you
Yeah.
have diabetes. Okay,
Okay,
diabetes.
that's it. Yeah, well done. Okay, now the only other thing I'd say is watch out for full stops or periods, as the Americans like to call them. So this
Yeah.
part of the text, it should be read, increasing the likelihood of developing type 2 diabetes. In 2005, a study of over 1,400 participants showed blah blah blah. That full stop says, okay, finish talking about that. Let's change the tone a bit so people know that this is a new sentence. Because if you don't, increasing the likelihood of developing type 2 diabetes in 2005. And that's not what it's trying to say. It happens all the time, not
Yep.
just in 2005. Okay, can you hear the difference?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, so try it. Increasing the likelihood of developing type 2 diabetes. In 2005, a study of over 1,400 participants showed. So try that, okay?
Okay. Okay. Increasing the likelihood of developing type 2 diabetes in 2005. A study of over 1,400 participants showed. That's
Yeah,
it.
again, I
Yeah.
would stress the 2005. In 2005,
Okay.
a study of over, try that, just that part.
In 2005, a study of over 1,400 participants showed.
Very good, that's it.
Is it
Because it
fine?
really tells the person listening, okay, we're off that, we're on to what happened something that happened in 2005. Okay? It
Okay. Yeah.
Nothing to do with what you said before. Okay? And that's what your that's when intonation is really important when you're speaking and explaining things. Okay. Very good, well done. How are we doing for time? Okay. Nina, have you got time to speak? Have you got time to read?
I would like, please.
Okay, awesome. If you would like to read this bit.
Okay. On the brain. Sleep deprivation can adversely affect the brain and cognitive function. A 2000 study by the UCSD School of Medicine and the Veterans Affairs Healthcare System in San Diego used functional magnetic resonance imaging (fMRI) technology to monitor activity in the brains of sleep-deprived subjects performing simple verbal learning tasks. The study showed the regions of the brain's prefrontal cortex, an area that supports mental faculties such as working memory and logical and practical means ends, reasoning, displayed more activity in sleeper subjects. Researchers interpret this result as indicating that the brain of the average sleep-deprived subject had to work harder than that of the average no-sleep-deprived subject to accomplish a given task. They therefore conclude that the brains of sleep-deprived subjects were attempting to compensate for adverse effects caused by sleep deprivation.
Very good.
Deprivation, I think.
Yeah, well done. Okay, we'll just confirm that at the end. Hang on. But that was good. So the first word I'd say is functional, not fung, funk, like fun, functional.
Functional.
That's it.
Functional.
Functional,
Okay.
functionality. How do things function? To function. Does it work? Okay. How does it work? So how does that car function? How does it work? Then
Function.
fMRI,
Okay.
not fMRE. fMRI.
Oh, fMRI.
Yeah.
Sorry,
That's
fMRI.
okay.
Yeah.
Remember the magnetic resonance imaging. Then the next one, it's
fMRI.
one I've noticed you do before. Area. It sounds like air, not R. Aria is part of an opera. The
Oh,
aria.
I see. So area.
Area. Exactly.
Area.
Area. The air in the area. Aria is basically the part of an opera. Okay. So.
Okay.
Okay. Then we've got, oh yeah, displayed. You've got to get the S, not deplayed. Displayed.
Display.
That's it. To display something, to show it. Okay.
Okay.
Then average, not age. Average. That
Average.
age at the end. Yeah. I know we say rage and age, but when it appears as the ending of a word, of a longer word, it tends to take age. Okay.
Each.
Now
Average.
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 So
South.
let's have a look. Baggage is the same. Luggage. Okay.
Luggage.
Yeah.
Baggage. Okay.
Hang on. Baggage has two G's. Sorry. So baggage, luggage, cottage. Yeah. They're all
Cottage.
age.
Each.
Okay, that's one I think you've got to work on. Your brain is going, age, I know age.
Age. No. Yeah.
Courage.
The typical G-E.
Yeah,
Courage.
Language.
Courage. Language. Okay.
Language is easier because you've got that U. Okay, you think, oh yeah, which, but it's the same for these other longer words that end in age. Baggage, luggage, cottage, courage, damage, language. Okay,
Language.
good.
Damage. Yeah.
Okay, good. It's something you'll need to convince your brain of.
I need to convince my brain. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm afraid so. So average.
Yeah.
Try it again. Average.
Average. Average.
That's better. Good. And then the
Oh,
last
that's
one,
better.
which you
Yeah.
you did perfectly well. Well done. But we'll just confirm it.
Deprivation.
Yeah, that's it.
Deprivation. Yeah.
I hope you do not suffer from any kind of deprivation.
I paid attention in Shiny, but I forgot when I was reading.
I know. It's so difficult, I know. And that's the difference between learning a word on its own and then learning it or seeing it in context. And in context, you're concentrating on all the words, so you kind of lose concentration for the individual word a bit. And it's good practice because it's brain training. That's what we're doing here. Yes, we're learning new vocabulary, but we're also training our brain to figure out the pronunciation of words in context.
Yeah, it's difficult. You follow the punctuation too. Oh, it's really complicated.
It is, and in English doubly so, because the rules are so flexible. It's much easier in German.
I need to keep my mind in automatic.
Yeah, well, get a good
to
night's
read
sleep.
correct. And yeah. I don't sleep yesterday.
I know.
I didn't
know
sleep.
You have trouble. I know you have trouble sleeping. When you turned up, I thought, this
All
is
the
the
time.
perfect session for Nina.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my gosh, exactly.
Okay. Anyway, the session has run out of time. If you're okay, we can carry on reading about this next week. Okay.
Okay.
I think it's an
Okay.
interesting topic because it brings up lots of different new vocabulary that you won't necessarily have learnt
Yeah.
before, and it does have a direct impact on learning. This is the thing about a good night's sleep before an exam, for example. Easier said than done, I know. Because I'm like, yeah, do I sleep before an exam? No, I don't. But but we can carry on talking about it next week. And maybe keep a sleep diary. Here's a little idea, only if you want to. Keep a sleep diary for the week. Okay? I have a sleep diary because I have a Fitbit. I don't know if you've heard of a Fitbit. It's a little watch and it can actually record my sleep. Now, I tend not to use it for that because I take it off when I go to sleep. So it thinks I'm sleeping very well. But for the next week, I'll tell you what I'll do is I'll wear my watch whilst I'm sleeping and I'll see what it records and how, because sometimes we think we don't sleep. And I bought this watch really to measure how much walking I do, how much exercise I get. But I found it interesting for the first couple of weeks till I got fed up of looking at it, how badly I sleep. And it will tell you if you're not sleeping well or enough. It will actually tell you, like a nagging wife, it will tell you. But try to keep a sleep diary for the week and come and tell me about it next week, okay?
Okay.
What we're going to do from this actual session is we'll move on to dreams. Okay, so we'll do sleep and then we'll go on to dreams. I don't know about you, but I love talking about dreams. I'm not allowed to talk about dreams to my husband because he goes la la la, not listening. He thinks it's the most boring thing in the world, but I love it. So we'll go from sleep next week and then we'll move to dreams the week after. Okay? Anyway, thank you for coming. I hope you enjoyed it. And as I say,
Yes.
if we'd had a Halloween costume competition, Nina, you definitely would have won with your bats,
Cheers.
with your bats and your
I think
crows.
it's.
You are a
Oh my
walking
god!
nightmare.
No, yeah, I worked in this costume for one day because my computer is really slow.
Oh
So
right, you're
okay, I will.
stuck.
Yeah. Oh my gosh!
Awesome, well done.
Thank you so
Anyway,
much.
it's very good. Okay, so take care. Don't have nightmares though, and we'll
Bye
speak
bye.
later.
Cheers.
Bye. Bye bye. I'll be in
Bye
Google
bye.
Hangouts in
Cheers.
half an hour. Bye. Bye,
Bye bye.
Tough.
See you
Bye,
soon, guys.
Shiny. Bye, Nina.
Bye bye.
Light background. Ah, okay. I've realised what I've done here. If you notice, it's actually on a clear background, so I will put it up. I'll tell you what, I'll put it up on the wall over there so that it looks, so that it's easier to see. And then make it larger. Okay. Okay, so if you just move your mouse so that you can see a light background behind it, you'll be able to see it even more easily. Okay, so the effects of sleep deprivation, to be deprived of sleep. And it has lots of different effects on you and on your body and on your brain. Okay? There are psychological effects and physiological effects. I know you don't like this word beginning. Physiological versus psychological. So what do you think the difference is between physiological and psychological? Any ideas?
Body and mind.
That's it. Psychological to do with mind, psychology, physiological to do with the body. Physiology is the study of the body. Okay, so any effects on your health? Okay, so I'll try to create a board. So have you got the image? Yep, okay, good. Have a look at the image. I'm just going to put it on to an actual board as well. So bear with me a second. I just need to find a blank presenter. Okay. Okay, I'll just pop it here and I'll repurpose one. Okay, so bear with me. Ignore what it actually says at the moment. I'll have to edit it. Oof. Bear with me. Okay, I'll just add the image to there, and then hopefully that will now show up. I think I'm suffering from sleep deprivation today, by the way. It was noisy Halloween last night. Okay. Not ideal. So I'll put it against a nice... So, hello and welcome to Let's Talk About It in Kitely, or in the Skybox again. Now I wanted to get us into some kind of bed shop or something, but it's very difficult to get inside buildings on Google Maps. So I'm afraid we're stuck with the Science Museum for now. Maybe in the future shops will allow us to enter their premises and grab a screenshot from there, but for the moment, never mind. Shiny, you've just put normal boring days means happiness. Not if they're boring, but I think normal days. Normal doesn't have to be boring. Just normal, nice normal days. Boring days are horrible. Sorry, I disagree with that. But just normal, everyday days can bring great happiness. Absolutely. Okay, I'm just going to check that the stream is running, because I think I told you there was a bit of a mess up, a bit of a mix up on the stream this week, because I stupidly let somebody borrow my computer. Don't let people borrow your computer when it is set up for particular things. Just don't do it. Oh, it's not looking good, because I'm clicking on the live stream and it's not working. But it might be because I'm using up... Oh, here it goes. Okay. So, as long as I can see myself... Yep. And let's see if I can hear myself. This will be a bit weird, but as I can see myself... Yeah, I can hear myself too. Tough guy, could you just say hello? But as I can see myself...
Hello.
Yeah, I can hear myself too. Tough guy, could you just say hello? That
Can you
sounded
hear me?
good. I can see myself.
Hello.
I can hear myself. Yep, everything's working. Good. Phew. So, fingers crossed it will stream correctly and I can close that down now. So, last week, can you remember what we talked about? There was a little clue in what I said earlier about I was trying to get us inside a bed store, a bed shop, or a mattress shop would have done. You can't remember? Okay. Shiny, any luck? There was a clue. And Shiny, you did send me some information this week about it as well, which thank you very much for that. Oh, I'm not sure if Shiny can hear me. Can you hear me, Shiny? No? Yes? No? Okay, well, I'll tell you then. It was about sleep. And we've been looking a lot at the brain, and we looked at how alcohol affects the brain and how different things affect the brain, including learning. And last week we talked a lot about sleep. You remember now? Good. Yeah, remember. That's okay, Shiny. If you could just type AFK if you're going... yeah, just type AFK if you're going to be away from your keyboard for a bit. Then I won't ask you a question. I'll know you're not there. Well, as long as I notice that you've typed AFK. Or BRB for be right back. You know what both those mean, yeah? AFK, away from keyboard. BRB, be right back. Okay? Okay, so this week we're going to look a little bit more at sleep. Okay? And I'm going to just upload an image I found, which is a free image, which is always nice to find. And it is one I can share with you. So I'll just literally do that and share it with you. I wasn't sure whether to put it in human anatomy or in health. It's a little bit of both, I guess, but in the end the most important thing is I can find it, so where I put it doesn't really matter to you. So let me just make sure it's going to upload. Yeah, looks like it's uploading okay. Okay, and it's called sleep deprivation. Okay, I'll just share it with you. Now, do you know what deprivation means? Any idea? What does deprivation mean? To be...
Deprive.
Yes, the verb is to deprive or to be deprived. Slight difference. One applies, you're doing the action, you're depriving someone of something. And the other one, to be deprived, of course, means that somebody is depriving you of something. Okay, and the image is called The Effects of Sleep Deprivation. And it has a lot of very negative